Oh, you got a book coming up?
Oh,
I do.
Come on, talk about it.
Let me hit me.
Okay, real quick.
I'm doing your first book.
This is my first and probably only book ever, and it's Chris talked me into it. It's something my sponsor was trying to talk me into too, back in the day. So it's a memoir, kind of like my journey of recovery, because I went from being like a suburban kid to homeless, drug addict, dealing as a teenager, cooking meth as a teenager, went to prison, got out, kind of put my life together, then fell back off the wagon, and then got it back together again. It's kind of like, it's just the journey of recovery. It's some YouTube stuff at the end.
So is it like it's an autobiography?
Yeah, it's basically my when I speak, it's my story of experience, strength, and hope. Just kind of what I went through in recovery. And
what, I was watching your podcast the other day, and you said something along the lines of like being truthful or real or genuine. What did you say? Like it was the new black. Authenticity. And it hit me right there. I didn't have any idea that any of that shit happened to you, man.
It happened so long ago. And I never bring it up, right? Chats. I love chats. Like the book's gonna be called Late and Gay. Gary's Gay Gurney. I love the chat. Yeah, I went through all that, it was it sucked. It mostly sucked, but it really set me up for life later on, and it made me appreciate things like freedom and hard work. And what it's like to come out the other side, like surviving like that. Like, I flatlined a couple times from OD.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah. So it's this gift of life, and how I was utterly wasting it, and really coming to terms with they use the term in the book. I don't know if I really want to use it, but trauma of my past. But and how you deal with that, and how you have to forgive certain people, and how especially the going through atonement part, and how you come out the other side feeling whole again. That's the whole point of this journey is to hopefully somebody will read it and maybe go to a meeting, or realize that no matter how bad things can get, you can crawl out of it. It just takes a lot of time, a lot of hard work, and I try not to sugarcoat it like, oh, it just magically happened. No, it doesn't magically happen, and it's not perfect all the fucking time, but it's better than being homeless. And having that grading curve on life really helps me. Like if I wake up feeling down, it's become so much easier now to realize, well, fuck. I mean, like things might be bad right now. Things might be bad in the world, but holy shit, I was living under a bridge, like literally living under a bridge, living under a bush in front of a Long John Silver's. At one time, I was living in drug dens, watching the most horrible things happen. And just now I enjoy like little walks through my neighborhood. So it's getting perspective. It's like being in the now, being grateful. That's what's helped me get through life, and I'm generally pretty happy now.
What's the title of the book?
Waiting for Nerdrotic. It's a joke on this because I'm always late with live streams. So.
Wow. How long ago was this? Like, when did you stop?
Oh, so I got out of prison 30 years ago and got sober, and then I relapsed in 2011. Really bad relapse, and things went like south quick.
So wait, how long were you sober before you relapsed?
It was 15 years.
Wow. What just without blowing any of the 15 years sober, that's 15, a pretty big 16. Accomplishment.
Yeah, it was. And it really, what I learned is my recovery wasn't good. I stopped going to meetings. My sponsor had committed suicide, so I never got another sponsor. And when I fell off, the term progressive disease really stuck with me, because I picked up right where I left off. And the thing
drugs
was, I picked up new drugs. I picked up new drugs that I hadn't done before, because like back in the day, I never did coke. So I decided to hey, let's try this coke thing. I'm sure it's great. And this is supposed to be talking about your book. Damn it. We
have plenty of time.
Yeah. So the progressive disease part was the one that blew my mind, which is like it's you pick up where you left off, but it's like you've been using that 15 years you were sober. So you don't like start. For an example, sorry, YouTube. You don't just start out with a little bump. You go right back to the rail that you know that you would have been doing if you had been using for 15 minutes for years.
I'm curious now. We're all bros now. I'm curious. In a nutshell, 15 years clean, then you fall off. What was essentially the reason you fell off the wagon?
There's a lot of stuff I hadn't dealt with, and it was success. So it wasn't depression. It was success. So I had a comic store. And it was relatively successful. I got in my own head. My head got fucking huge. And I'm like, I'm fine now. That was basically my attitude. And then immediately, like once I started, I'm like, fuck. Yeah. And it was very private. Like the relapse was not like me partying with people or anything. It was me using alone and hiding it from people all the time.
Yeah, that's the bad.
And I thought I was so clever. I was hiding, going back in the bathroom in my store every 15 minutes, and everybody fucking knew. Like, everybody knew. Yeah. So, my wife threw me out of the house like she should have. And I was facing like, oh shit, I'm going to be that guy who's not raising my kids. And, I'm adopted. My dad bailed on my mom when she was 16, right? I had an adopted dad who was great. Never bailed on me. Fucking love him. Miss him to death. But I couldn't face that. I couldn't betray my kids. I couldn't betray my family. And sobriety is supposed to come first. It's supposed to be about me being sober so all these other things can work. But my motivation to get there was, I am not going to be an absentee father to my kids. Fuck no. I'd rather die. And we sold the shop for a song, and I went to sober living, and the rest is in the book. But poor Melissa went through a really fucking hard time with that. And it's been a gift, and getting back on the wagon again sucked. I had to go back to 12 an hour jobs. So I was, I had already achieved, pinnacle and selling parts and stuff. I was a journeyman parts, but so I was working at dealerships. I could ask for whatever I want. I did 10 years at the comic store. We won Best of the Bay, and I was back at working O'Reilly's Auto Parts for $12 an hour. And it's just like, and I'm glad I did it, and it fucking sucked, and I was pissed the whole fucking time, but it was good. It was good to experience that and work out of it again, to understand like how precious, hard work, being, faithful to the family, liberty, actual liberty and freedom, which is something I lost. And I was dude, I had 2 felons. So like, if I got caught at any moment, I was facing a life term in prison. Like at any moment. Term? Yes. You get your third strike, you're out.
Just for drug felonies?
For drug felonies. And this was this was before Gascon and all those people when they kind of went away from it. They're bringing it back, by the way. But I was facing a 3 strikes.
Well, I'll tell you what, I thank God for every bad thing that's happened to me.
Yeah.
That's how you learn. That's how you go through the crucible of life, Even things like obviously I could talk about the sort of the documentary and how bad that made me feel, and how angry that made me feel, and how wronged I was. But I thought for years, I put myself back in every little fucking situation about why it went wrong. What was I thinking in the pinch of the moment? What was happening? What wasn't I seeing? Learning from your mistakes is about the most valuable thing that a man has to make himself into a better one.
Well, it's learning. You need your pain, like Kirk. Captain Kirk says, "I need my pain." You need your pain. You do. You learn from it, and you don't repeat those mistakes. And thankfully, if you don't horribly hurt somebody, which a complete miracle that I never did that. I was never super violent or anything like that, but all mine was very internal. I did a lot of punishment to myself. Definitely hurt a lot of people. like through the journey, and had to write those letters and get rejected and been told to fuck off, and they had every right to do that to me. And coming out the other side, just going, I don't want to be that person anymore. You know, and then really working at it and going to meetings, and the Fellowship of Recovery and AA has been like, it's a miracle that this program exists, that it's a nonprofit, that it's out there. It's created by a couple of God-fearing dudes back in the 30s, and it's stayed around this line. Sure, it's got its politics, but it's never really gotten bad. And honestly, with all those high-priced rehabs out there, they always have to direct you to AA at some point. It's the one thing. It doesn't work. I'd love the percentage to be higher, but it's the one thing that does consistently work.
Yeah.
And it's ultimately about personal responsibility. Like you said, it's realizing that I can blame society. I can blame all this shit. But the one thing I really had to internalize is life isn't fair, and it doesn't owe me shit. It owes me a death. That's it. And that's all it owes me. And I got to go out there and like, instead of worrying about the rest of the fucking world or anything like that, you worry about your world, and you try to be the best person you could be in your world. And it's not always perfect, but having that fellowship of dudes around to call you on your shit all the time and their behavior is really helpful. Really, really helpful.
Nerdrotic.com. Please subscribe.